Hello, welcome everyone, wherever you are. Today is our Authors Corner on the Own It platform. And we're going to continue. For those of you that were with us yesterday, we talked a lot about respect and responsibility. And I think it fits in perfectly as being an author also. Authorship, writers, we have responsibility and we need to show respect and we need to get respect. I have a panelist from yesterday who she will introduce herself in a moment, Tiffany Para. The other panelists were unable to be with us this morning that contributed to the conversation. So Tiffany and I are going to carry it on. And as a brief introduction, my name is Teresa Palmer. I'm a part of the Own It team. I'm a contributing writer to Own It magazine and Phoenix Fitness, which I always have trouble saying, magazine. And I'm also author of the book Heal Your Heart from Within. I'm a holistic cardiology nurse practitioner that bridges traditional Western medicine with Eastern traditions, some metaphysics, some Eastern medicine, and I connect individuals to their hearts. And in doing so, I connect us to our personal power. And with that, I'm going to give the floor to Tiffany.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Oh, thank you for joining us, and thank you, Teresa, for manning the ship while Marisa is gone and hosting our Authors Corner. So I am Tiffany Para. I am editor-in-chief of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics magazine, as well as CEO of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Coaching. I am a visionary author of 3 amazing books, Becoming a Girl Powerhouse, and followed by 2 others, Unsnapped, this last year, all of them bestsellers. And I'm just really glad to be here and really glad to take the floor with you and talk about respect and responsibility as an author.
Yeah, I think it's just so important. I think as an author, or even as a writer, I mean, the difference is an author is someone whose work is published. A writer is someone who may do work. They don't always get published, and a lot of times they write for other people. So either way, we have a responsibility. And I kind of get shocked when I look at what is so-called authorship and journalism. And whether it be on social media or whether it be on some of the blogs, and some of the blogs have quite a bit of following, and you see posts that you wonder, like, why would people post that and not take responsibility for what they're saying, how they're acting on social media or in authorship in general? I mean, I've seen people, authors, writers, journalists go on social media and blast everything. Blast our government, blast everything that's going on in the world. They don't have facts per se to back it up, but they try to convince you that what they're saying is the absolute truth, and this is the way it should be. And in my mind, okay, I'm going back some years, but I remember responsible journalism. I remember Huntley and Brinkley, and they didn't tell you what they thought, about a war or anything that was going on, good, bad, in between. They gave you the facts. This is what's happening in the world. They didn't try to convince you that they were right, that what they were talking about was right or wrong. They just simply reported the facts. And we don't do that anymore, in my opinion. And I think, unfortunately, that's permeated authors and writers because now we think, as authors and writers, well, if they could do it, we could certainly do it. Why do we have to be credible? Why do we have to take responsibility for what we write? And why do we have to be respectful? And that bothers me a lot, and I'd like to get your take on that.
No, that does bother me a lot as well. I think there's a lot of emotion going on in the world today. And, as I stated in Unsnap, the women's edition, sometimes we need to take a pause. It's the power of the pause that is everything. Pause before you speak. pause before you react, because right now everything is reactive, reactive, reactive. And because everyone is so stuck in their emotions and it's very high emotions, they want to get their point across. And, with AI now, I have to go into that a little bit. Sometimes you don't know what is real and what isn't real. So it gets really kind of confusing out there. So again, it's taking that pause, educating yourself on the facts, right? Because it is about the facts. And as an author or a writer or a journalist, I think that you want to show up with high integrity as well, because you're bringing the news to a community. And if you're bringing the news to the community, you do not want to bring your emotion to the community, because as an energy worker, healer, whatever you want to call me, I understand that that energy can really spread like wildfire if you are negative in your communication and get out there. It's going to spread negativity. If you show up positive, you show up with just the facts. It's the facts, everyone. Let everyone have their own reaction to those facts. And that's really that's my take on it. And I am very passionate about the way I show up, especially in a health and wellness arena, because I do push a lot of holistic practices. And I myself personally, I don't take medications because I choose not to. But I'm not going to go out there unless I have facts about something. I'm not going to go out there and tell people, oh, don't do this, and you can't do this, and you can't do that, unless I know the facts to tell someone, hey, you may not want to do this because of XYZ, which I've researched and know the facts, but you want to do your research yourself as well and educate yourself.
I definitely, and I think you brought up two really important things that I'd like to expand on. You know, one is that we do have to have the facts. And I am a nurse practitioner. I have a background, of course, in cardiology, nursing, medicine. And a lot of times I too don't take medications simply because number one, I don't need them. Number two, I choose not to. Um, but yet, with a lot of my clients, a lot of my patients, a lot of them are on a lot of medications. And what I could do is go over with them what the medications are, what they do, give a suggestion that perhaps, maybe these two things are a little similar, or maybe if you did a little bit more diet, exercise, or got rid of some of the stress and inflammation in your body, you may not need that. But unless I have hard facts that something really is detrimental, I don't tell them. And if I do have hard facts that say this drug may cause X, Y, and Z, I will also tell them if I'm doing consulting online, I will tell them, speak to your doctor, speak to your cardiologist, and find out if there's something else you could go on. What does their research show? What do they tell you about this medication? Because this is what's out there. And I'll give them where I found the information, the resources, so they could go and look it up themselves. And then that brings us to sensationalism. You
Mm.
know, and especially I think it's so true in alternative or holistic health, because you hear so many people. I was listening to somebody's YouTube. They had sent a segment and said, oh, they're going to use this for their website. And it was a person that has a corporate position.
Mhm.
And they added in that they're also a healer because they work with breath work for people. And I thought to myself, a healer, like that's sort of a term that everybody's using nowadays. And I myself think that we're our own healers. I think every patient, every client I have has the
Like,
ability. They may need to be guided to heal. But the
sure.
last thing I would do is call myself a healer. And yet, basically, I have the credentials because in medicine, a lot of doctors, a lot of nurses, a lot of the culture says that we are healers. But are we really healers and how do we use that? So I think sometimes it's that sensationalism, with posts, with everything that we want to grab people's attention. For writing a post, I saw somebody wrote a post about a book that they had written, and they wrote in the post that while they were while they were thinking of writing this post and thinking things out, that this entity appeared to them from above. This entity appeared, and this person, I guess, said it was an angel, whatever, and was told, this is what you have to post and this is how you have to say it. And she was kind of posting it from the perspective of, I got this download, I got this information from this other world that's telling me that I have to tell my readers this. And I'm thinking to myself, but your book isn't anything about that, because I'm familiar with the book and the book is on a totally different topic. But in my mind, to get sales, to kind of boost the book, she's using it as, from above, I got this download that's telling me that I have to tell people this, and this is my book. And I thought, wow, such sensationalism. I would love to know if it really got her more sales with her book. I
Mhm.
really doubt it, because I think people see through that stuff.
It's
But
confusing too. I
yeah,
think it's
yeah,
confusing. I mean, if you're saying one thing, but then your book is about another thing, it's going to be confusing. And then when the person actually sees what the book is about, it's like, wait, well, this grabbed me, and now you're showing me this. So I can't see that being something that can help with book sales. I think you have to stick to what the book is about and figure out something that's going to grab that person. Like, I love reading excerpts from the book because the authors in, I mean, I do anthologies, right? So being a visionary and wanting to share other people's stories, I can read an excerpt and grab someone's attention because these are stories from trauma to triumph.
hmm
So trauma is always going to grab someone, right? It is what it is. I mean, when you hear about trauma versus something that's joyful and happy, a lot of times in the society, people they lean towards the traumatic, right? I mean, it kind of is, it's a sad truth. So I just say stick to what it's about, all this other stuff. I mean, yes, there's a lot of things that can grab people. Find something in the book or find something within you as an author that is going to connect you with the book. Like, I know I'm a powerhouse. So becoming a girl powerhouse and me coming from those ashes, me going through all these different traumatic situations and things, I could come out and just share just a smidge about something that I've gone through and say, hey, have you ever gone through this? And then lead into the book.
right.
As easy as that, right? So people have to really just think about it and stop, stop all the glimmer and glam, right? Just
Yeah,
stick to what you're
yeah.
trying to get out there, right?
Right, and the sensationalism. I mean, you're not being responsible when you feed into sensationalism, nor are you respecting your subscribers, your clients, those that will read your book, those potentially who could read your book. If you're saying something just to grab their attention about your book, and it really doesn't even have anything to do with your book, what you're doing is you're basically frauding people, because you're getting them to go on Amazon, or if you self-publish, to go to your website and, fill out. And most people, if they hear something and it sounds exciting, they may want to go grab that book. So they're not really going to take the time to read the excerpts to find out, and then they're going to have the book in their hands or in their Kindle or iBook or whatever,
And then
and
that's
then they're going to see that, wow, this person, this has nothing to do with healing or whatever what this person said. This person is talking about business, or is talking about some sort of technique that has nothing to do with that. And then people don't want to follow you. You get a bad reputation. And I don't think we see that. I think with everything being so open now, I mean, basically, you could you could go as far as you want with anything. You could go to you could speak in numerous places if that's what you choose to do, on numerous topics if that's what you choose to do. You could be on every magazine cover that's online. Everything has gotten diluted, that if you could pay for it, you could be on it or in it. And I think then we kind of use that anything's possible. We kind of dilute that and then make it into a sensational thing and try to hook other people into the sensationalism that hooked us. And I'm not saying that trying to be rude or trying to say that things aren't good.
Mhm.
I'm saying it because we get hooked into something. And then I think we develop that mindset and we say, hey, it hooked us. Well, I'm writing a book on business, but if I tell people that I'm connecting with an alien and the alien is telling me about these business practices, well, people are going to want to read my book. They're going to want to find out, and it's going to make me special because I'm connecting with an alien and nobody else is doing that. But maybe we believe in our hearts that we are connecting with an alien, but at the same time, even though we may believe it, we're still deceiving people because we're not really giving them the facts. So, what do you think about that?
I think that I'm gonna have to take it on a religious tip, really,
Okay,
because
whatever, however you want to do it.
when I meditate, when I pray, when I'm, especially when I'm starting projects and things, I will get that downloaded. I feel like, for me, it's God, for
Mhm.
whoever out there, source, energy, whatever you want to call that. But I know that I do get messages from God when I sit and I'm just still and I'm really thinking about how I want to move. Again, it goes back to the power of the pause. If you sit still, you will, and if you believe, I mean, I am a believer. So again, when I get those downloads, I'm like, okay, Lord, okay, I hear you. And every time I put those things in action, those things happen, those things come together, they start to, I'm giving those messages that I'm supposed to give, because we have so many thoughts running through our head all the time, right? I mean, life is just so crazy. And again, when you sit and you pray and you meditate and you get that message that you just know in your heart is what you need to put out there in this world, then that's what you do. That's, at least that's for me. That's what I do.
Right.
I get those messages. Every book that I've written, even from the first Becoming a Girl Powerhouse, I meditated, prayed, went to sleep. I had a dream. It came to me in a dream. I was at a book signing in my dream and heard chatter of women and saw silhouettes of women. Didn't see faces, just silhouettes. And I felt such warmth and joy in the room. And when I woke up, I'm like, I'm going to ask some of these ladies if they want to write a book because it just felt good. And the first woman that I asked, it was like, when she said yes, it was like, oh my gosh, we're writing the book. You know what? Thank you, Lord. You gave me that message that I needed
Yeah.
because
And
I
those
never
are
in a million.
fine. Yeah, and see, those are authentic because one of the reasons that we sit in meditation or silence, and I teach this a lot about the heart, that you have to connect to your heart. Your heart is your inner knowing. Your heart is what connects all of us, each of us, to a power higher than we are. And it doesn't matter what you call that power. That power could be God, the universe, it could be anything that you believe that higher power is, uh, but it's there. It's that source, it's that energy, it's that higher knowing. And when we sit in silence, yes, that's when we get those downloads and those ideas come to us and we act on those ideas because we're also listening for that when we spend time with ourselves. We're listening for those things. We're listening to be guided in the direction that's best for us and guided out of our ego. And I know
Mm.
that kind of trips people up sometimes. But, a lot of times when we're driven by ego is when we get the sensationalism. That's when we get okay, I've got to make an impact on people. The way I could do this is I'm going to do it, sensationalize it. And I think when that happens, we lose the whole essence of what the message was, why we were getting that message, because I think those downloads, and I totally agree with you. I'm guided every day by what I feel. Yes, I've had dreams where it's a good idea to do something, or it may be something that I've never thought of doing. Uh, and I do it and I get guided into things, but that's different than sensationalism. Sensationalism is kind of, going out there and creating a persona of yourself that's so unique than what everybody else is doing, that people have to follow you because of this or buy your book because of that. And that's when you lose the real message. I
That's true.
think that's where our message gets lost. And that's where there's no responsibility
Yeah.
because they're tactics. It's like theatrics and magic. I
Yeah.
mean, magic is a distraction. It's a
And
good
why not be
distraction.
yourself, right? Why
Yeah.
not be yourself? Let everyone
And
fall in love with who you are. Show up authentic and real. That's what
and
people are
yeah,
attracted to. Like
yeah.
the people, at least the people that I watch, I love watching them because they allow you to watch them win. They allow you to watch them fail. They allow you to watch them everything in between. You get to see the real person. That's how I like to show up. Like you see me out here. Look, I'm having internet issues. Okay, so
Uh,
I have the YMCA. I have to come here for a workout anyway. Let me go ahead and make this happen. You show people life, show people you living in your life. That's what's going to attract people, not, oh, let me go over here and say this, that, and the other. And when I say, I tell people, hey, this is how people see me, and if you see me that way, because that's how I'm showing up in the world, I'll take it. I'll take it.
yeah. Yeah. That's self-respect. And that's also responsibility
Yeah.
because you're being authentic. And that's so important in authorship that you come across as authentic, that
Mhm.
people could identify with you. And that's one reason why social media relationships, whether they be on Zoom, whether they be on a platform, or whether they be even in person, are so important because the research shows that people are more likely to even work with you, regardless of what your profession is, if they can get to know you more personally. And as an author, the more people could know you personally, could connect with you on platforms like this, on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. They get to know who you are. And by getting to know who you are, then they're more willing to buy your book, to work with you. Uh, it's just the way it happens. And yet, I don't think we feel confident in that, or we want to take a shortcut
Mm.
and we say, okay, I'm just going to go out there and blast with all this stuff. And I'm going to show people that this is the reason they need to buy my book because this X, Y, and Z happened. And it's just so unique and so different that I just want the sales. I just want people to recognize me. And I don't care if they get anything out of my book or not. And that may be sounding pretty harsh to people, But I think that's really the reality. And, for me, one of the reasons I think that this platform is so important is because we could get to the authenticity. We don't have to do the spectacularism. We don't have to do the grandiose things, and we don't try to convince people that we're right. We just give them information.
Right.
And so, that's why I think that it's so important for people to get to know people. And as an author or somebody who's thinking about writing, I would say the best thing they could do is build relationships
Mhm.
and build relationships online, build
Yes,
relationships in person, social media to get people to know who you are so that then when you go and you write your piece, if you write your blog, if you publish a book, or if you need people like with you to do an anthology, people are more likely then to go towards you because now they have an idea of who Tiffany is, of who Teresa is, and they don't have to get caught into something that may not be real, because they're getting to know the person.
absolutely. And building that trust, that's what it does. When you get to know someone, you build that trust and you build that bridge. And what I'm going to say too for aspiring authors and even authors that are out there that may be having problems with, moving their books a little bit, connect with other authors. Connect with other authors because guess what? Other authors support other authors. So get into those author groups. There's so many of them out there. Go research them, see which ones you're vibing with, and connect in those author groups. There's author groups on Alignable. There's author groups in Facebook. There's all over the place. I mean, you can find a lot of different groups. Even tapping into Own It magazine as well as Phoenix Fitness Fanatics magazine. We have Authors Network, Authors Corner. So there are a lot of different ways that you can connect with people that are going to support you. And I think the best way to do that is connecting with other authors because, again, as we're building, as we're growing, as we're doing, Amazon bestseller campaigns and things like that, we're reaching out to our friends and our family and asking that for that support. So I think that it is, when you're an author, you have a little different, I guess, view on it when it comes to a fellow author coming to you and asking for support.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I think that for my final words, what I would like to leave people with is that respect, responsibility, and authenticity and consistency all go together. And the most successful people are not the people that sensationalize things. They're not the people that go out there and shout so much that you can't help but hear them because they're constantly just out there blasting, blasting, blasting. But the people that are really successful, the authors, the writers, the journalists, are the people that are authentic, that respect their readers, their subscribers, respect other people, respect relationships, and take the responsibility for the way they act and what they say seriously and be impartial and give people the facts and not just give people either what you think they want to hear to make you popular or to sensationalize things because hey, I want to sell 1200 books, so it doesn't matter what I do, I just want to sell those books. That's not what it's about. It's about self-respect, respect, self responsibility, consistency, authenticity. Any last words for our viewers and how they could reach you if they would like to?
Oh, absolutely. So again, if you guys are out there and you are looking to put your work out in the world, definitely connect with us here on this platform. We can definitely help you with bringing it out of you. If you're ready to birth that book, or if you have something that you've been sitting on for a while, come on, it's time for you to share that with the world, because guess what? Your story and your messages are downloads from the divine that you are supposed to get out there in this world. So tap in where you can so we can help you to get that out there. I can be reached at either you can text me at 909-326-0099, or you can catch me at Phoenix Fitness Fanatics 2016 at gmail.com. Or you can Google me, Coach Tiffany Parra, and a plethora of information will show up about Coach Tiffany Parra.
Thank you so much. And for me right now, the best way to get in touch with me would be to message me on Instagram. My new handle on Instagram is Heart Power 7. So you could message me on Instagram. Or right now, my website is not functional. Hopefully, it will be in a couple of weeks, and then people will be able to contact me through my website and also download what I think is a pretty awesome, authentic, free gift that will help a lot of people. So until we see everyone again, thank you so much for joining us. And I hope that what we said you found helpful and live the best life that you can. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.